Hello and welcome back to the M2 Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Ante. My co-host right here is Mr. J.K. Heath. This is the show where we cover gaming industry-related news. This week, we're going to be talking a little bit about EA job cuts. It's been a while since we talked about job cuts. Kyle over here wanted me to basically bring it up because it's actually fairly important with the amount of roles that are going to be gone. We're going to talk a little bit about Wii Homebrew Channel development. They're actually shut down because of a stolen code. And there is a new update on some interesting new tech where you got a laptop that's pretty capable of being a gaming handheld, like a kind of like any other tablet. Well, not tablet, Kyle. What would you get? What would you say? Like a remote? What am I looking for? Like a game deck or a Steam Deck,
Yeah,
something like that.
combat,
Yeah,
handheld.
and then thank you, handheld, of course. And then the last one we're going to talk about is EA and their anti-cheat is able to ban people with 99% accuracy. But before we get into that, we like to start with a little bit of update. So, Kyle, what have you been up to? Shout out Canes. You're wearing the Canes shirt. That's really
Oh
cool.
yeah, dude. Oh yeah. I found this at like a Ross or something. I got lucky. I was like, I
Nice.
snagged it right away.
Heck
Yeah,
yeah.
no, it's yeah, dude. I was watching some Canes in the good old Stanley Cup playoffs.
Oh yeah.
Round one. Um, just out here, just cooking the Devils. Got one game on us in OT, but hey, we closed them out 4-1. So
I was joking with some coworkers. I was like, the Canes are gonna throw game one in New Jersey just so they can finish the series at home. And dude, like after the first period, I got a text from my dad. He's like, he hasn't been watching the Canes at all.
yeah.
He's lived up in New England for the longest time, so he doesn't really follow the Canes. I'm big into the Canes, obviously. So are you. It's our hometown team. But they went down like what, 3 goals
Yeah,
really
something
early
like,
on
yeah, it was
in
early.
the first period. And my dad turned it off and he texted me, he goes, "Yeah, they stink." And I'm just like, they're a third period team. You gotta just wait it out. And then he goes, "Yeah, I'm done. They're just terrible. I've never like they're so bad. Are they usually this bad?" And he's like just trying to talk a
Hey,
bunch of
you
crap to me.
dogging
I'm
them,
like,
okay?
yeah, he was going at him, and I said to him, I was like, I bet you they come back and win. And then going into the third period, it's tied 4-4.
Ding ding ding.
And I messaged him and I was just like, or I texted him and I was like, yeah, so check the score. Because he turned it off to go like watch a movie
Yeah.
or something with my mom. And he goes, "Oh dang, it's 4-4." And then they won, and I saw him earlier today. I was like, "Yeah, you know they won, right?" He goes, "Yeah, I can't believe they came back." I was like, "It's because you gave up on them. They heard." So
3-period
yeah,
match, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
yeah.
Can't give up in the
They
first.
said no, sir.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
no,
yeah,
it
man.
was pretty
What else have
crazy.
you been up to?
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, it's just outside of that. I did play some Player Obscure Expedition 33. Started that. Played a couple hours. I have to say, just for the couple hours I played, I could see why so many people are like raving about this game right now, and why it
Yeah.
has a lot of positive reviews. Dude, the combat, it's turn-based. I ain't gonna lie though, man. Like I thought it was gonna be turned off by the turn-based like combat stuff. There's some QTE stuff that makes it a little more interesting, and that's I think kind of an added twist to it. But I don't know, I was enjoying it. Like I like done a couple battles at this point, and I don't know, there's something about like getting the timing right with your combat and like kind of being strategic about what to do. I'm actually
Oh
liking it a
yeah.
lot more than I thought I would. So I don't know. I'm very excited to kind of dig deeper and kind of build out classes because it seems like it can get pretty in depth for what you can do with your characters and all that. So the story so far is it's very intriguing for sure. Just kind of off the first little bit I've played. So I don't know.
Very cool, man.
I've been staying away from like any kind of story explanations or any sort of like gameplay or anything like that because apparently, from what I've heard, there's a lot of like twists and turns that even happen kind of early on. So I've been very kind of mindful to not look at anything because I'm like, all right, I want to experience kind of the story for what it is without kind of being interrupted. So
Yeah, that's very difficult to do, especially with like the internet now. You
yeah,
got to
oh
be
yeah,
really careful. Sometimes you could just be scrolling in the wrong thread on like
oh
the
yeah,
wrong website, and all of a sudden everything's ruined for you. It's like, oh well, why should I watch crap?
yeah,
Be upset
exactly.
about it.
Yeah, so yeah, man, I'm being very mindful about that, but I've been enjoying it so far, so I'm happy to continue playing.
Very
Outside of
sick, dude.
that, man, I got into a very expensive hobby. I was telling you before the show.
Yeah, you did.
Started collecting vinyl records. But I don't know. I'm very excited, but I also gonna be mindful to try to budget myself and pace it out over time, so I don't just buy 10, 15 records off the bat. And it's like, what's the point of collecting if it's just kind of big chunks, you know? So,
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I've I think like 5 or 6 records I've found so far, and I don't know. It's albums I really enjoy and music I really enjoy, and I don't know. I've been listening to them, and it's been I don't know, it's one of those things I think in the digital age of like, going from song to song and kind of building playlists and not really adhering to albums. It's nice to just sit down and be very intentful about like, all right, I'm gonna put this on, go through all this effort. I'm actually gonna listen to this and take it in. And so I'm like
Perfect. Yeah.
hearing stuff in albums I haven't heard up until now and kind of just really embracing the music for what it is. So I'm excited to keep collecting and, listen to more albums and just soak in music. And I don't know, listening with intent is what I heard a lot whenever I was looking up like reviews and people talking about why they get into vinyl. So
Yeah. Yeah.
excited.
Because everything matters. It's like it's very cool. It's kind of
Yeah.
like listening to you got to get the concept albums too.
Oh
Those are
yeah.
really fun as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, dude, like just like I don't know, like this like work's been kind of crazy this week. So like I don't know, the
Oh yeah.
drives
Tell me
on,
about
on
it.
on the drives on like the drives to work and stuff since I've been going in, it's kind of like I'll just like pick an album, and be like, all right, I'm gonna try and listen to as much as I can, just like kind of random
Yeah.
albums. And like this week for whatever reason I had the urge to like I've been seeing some like Linkin Park videos online of like their newest album that we're working on, like behind the scenes kind of
Oh
thing.
yeah.
But I was like, I've never actually like sat down their earlier records and actually listened to them. So I've gone through
Really? That's cool.
I went through I listened to Meteora for the first time front to back, and I was like,
That's
dude, like the
that's
album
one of
is
my favorite
insane.
albums
Dude.
ever.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm listening to I'm like,
It's so
dude,
good.
there's not a skip in this whole like this album
No.
is so good. It's like very punchy. Like the opener is just insane, and it's just
It-
like it just gets you
It's
going.
perfect.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
it's the perfect like and then I was looking up reviews and stuff, people on live like Linkin Park fanatics, and they're all just like, yeah, dude, it's arguably their best album, maybe behind Hybrid Theory, but like it's just like, I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
see that's why.
It really comes down to taste, right? Because if you have more of a taste for like
Yeah,
heavy like screaming and stuff, you're gonna go Hybrid Theory, and especially if you found Linkin Park right away,
yeah,
like right when that album launched, you're gonna be a little bit more nostalgic. It's like you didn't know what you were getting when you listen to Hybrid Theory,
yeah,
but when you listen to
exactly.
Meteora, you're like, I know what Chester sounds like. I know what the rapping is. It's just like, okay,
Yeah, I
let's
know
try to
those
figure
record
out
scratches.
how.
I know the guitars
Yeah,
that they're
yeah,
doing.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah. It's like that. It's not the uniqueness of it anymore.
yeah,
But I personally think Meteora is their best album. Well, actually, I can think of a couple of them that I would
yeah,
put up there too. I rate a lot of their albums really, really highly, but
yeah,
Meteora is probably my favorite,
yeah.
and it's really just a toss up between that and Hybrid Theory.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. Like, listen to Meteora now. It's like I saw it in the record store like a couple weeks ago. Like, I was just like perusing, and
Yeah,
I just like obviously wasn't into vinyl at the time, so I didn't get it. But now it's like I was like, if I see that album again, dude, I might have to pick it up. Like, it's just to have it. Like, I
yeah,
don't know, dude. It was really good. So, I know I'm like late to the game on that, but I don't know, dude. I'm
okay,
impressed. I listened to that and I was like, dude, I see why everyone loves it. It's just so good.
yeah. It's
Um,
just amazing. It's a
yeah,
wonderful, wonderful, yeah, um, album.
yeah, dude, yeah,
There's a couple
really,
albums I could send you that are like mix and matching a whole bunch of different genres that are concept.
yeah.
One of them I would think is like Sempiternal by what's it called? Bring Me the Horizon is really, really
Yeah,
good. Like I always recommend that to people that are like they don't really like metal, but they want to know what it's about. I always say like go listen to Sempiternal. Um, and then the other one is Death Cab for Cuties. Not metal, obviously, but what's the name of it? It's their hold on. Have you ever
we
listened to
got.
Death Cab for Cutie? First of all,
I'm sure I've heard of some of their songs, but I've never like actually gone through their albums or anything.
Transatlanticism. That's what it is.
Oh, okay, okay,
Transatlanticism. That is probably one of the best concept albums I've listened to front to back.
okay.
Every single one of them is basically about a journey of a man going through life and like the loves that you reach upon the way and like trying to turn yourself into somebody new. And it's like it's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Um, really, really cool concept.
Okay.
So
I'm intrigued.
yeah.
I'll have to look it up. Because
Oh
yeah,
yeah, dude.
now I'm in that album mode of like, all right, I actually want to like
Oh yeah.
just actually take the album, embrace the sonics of kind of how everything flows, and see like how the actual craftsmanship of what it takes to make a good album. So I don't know, I'm
Mhm.
entering that era. I feel like so. Yeah, definitely excited for sure. I also listened to A Thousand Suns, which I guess is like Linkin Park's
Yeah, that's really
concept
good too.
kind of album. It was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Was impressed. So I don't know. I got a lot to catch up on. I feel like, but it's a but yeah, a lot of music and kind of getting some time in for gaming as well. So it's been a
Very cool,
solid
man.
week outside of work. It's been a solid week. So,
Yeah.
can't complain. Dude, what about you though, Mike? Dude, you've been busy, dude. I know you got stuff going on this weekend, bro.
I won't bore you with all the IRL stuff I got going on or the work stuff, other than the fact that I got a new haircut. I'm pretty excited about.
It's good,
I
dude.
might rock the shorter hair for a little bit longer than I normally do. Usually, I should cut it short for something formal, and then I grow it out for like 4 months. But I'm gonna just keep it rocking short for a little bit, see how I like it. But in terms of what I've been getting into, a couple of things. Had a Halo 2 tournament that was on Sunday. I fried in that thing. I
Yes,
had the
sir.
fifth best KDA. The reason why I fried is because I got a brand new internet. So for the longest time, I've been playing on horrific internet. Like it was enough for us to like do the recordings and stream videos and like, but it was never stable. Like you need really stable internet, like packet loss and stuff like that,
Yeah.
to be 0% to have a good competitive shooting experience. And I never had that with where I was living before. And as you can see, for anybody that's like didn't see last episode and didn't hear me, I'm in the process of moving. It's been a bit of a headache. I haven't had an actual chance to get everything I wanted done. A lot of the living room's getting taken care of and like common area space, but my personal gaming stuff, it's like it's chaos. I got like monitors over here unplugged, and I got like console controllers over here. It's boxes on the floor. Like it's really bad. But for this weekend, doing an OG Halo 2 tournament at a lake house. A couple buddies coming in, not a couple, several, too many coming in. And we're going to try to host the tournament, going to try to stream it. It's going to be on H2 Real Ones, H2 Real Ones, all one word, one spelled out, H2, obviously not. And that is just OG Halo 2, original Xboxes. Going to try to stream it. Hopefully they have good internet. If they don't, then whatever. Just us and the boys hanging out, having a
There
good
you
time.
go. There you go.
Yeah. I'd kinda rather do that, to be honest, because it's less stress for me to have to worry about my PC, because my PC is gonna be the one hosting the stream.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Hey, man.
it's it is what it is.
Hey, dude. You could always shut it down if you're just not up for it, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Just
I mean, I might
go
just
off
pull
the
the plug
grid.
just like, "Oh, no, the cable tripped," or something, like, "The fuse broke." Nah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be kind of a rainy weekend, so I think most people are gonna be inside anyway.
Perfect
Probably not gonna
weekend to
be able
game,
to.
dude. Perfect
Honestly,
weekend.
Saturday is gonna be all day game sesh, so everybody's gonna be inside. It won't be that big of a deal, but it'll be a good time. There's a game room and stuff. People get to play pool and like table tennis. But outside of that, man, I'm really excited to get this weekend over with, get settled and work a little bit, get a little bit more responsibilities on my plate. I got to get organized, got to crush that. Want to get home early, take care of everything here, get some wonderful sleep. And then honestly, I think I'm just going to start devoting most of my rate of effort into the pod. And I think that's the route I want to go for the rest of the year and just really chill out and play solo games. By the way, speaking of solo games, I was able to stream my PC from my bedroom TV. So I can control my bedroom, like in my bedroom on the TV, the Samsung TV. I can control everything on my PC perfectly. It's like almost flawless.
Okay.
And it was really sick. Like I was watching the Canes game in there because they didn't have I didn't sign into the app on the TV, but I remote logged into my computer and I was like, "Oh yeah, I just watched the Canes game."
Nah, that's
And
dope.
then it was really sick. And I pulled it up on my phone too. They were in sync, like
That's
exactly in
crazy.
sync. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is like changing the whole game." Um
It's
yeah, and I
amazing.
thought it was really, really cool. Yeah, just something I wanted to mention, and that's gonna be a little bit of my future because you can stream on your Xbox as well. So I'm gonna be
Cool.
playing single player games in the living room off the Xbox. So you can catch me laying way back like this, man. If anybody's got the video, you know what I'm talking about. I'm laying all the way back in the chair, just not lifting arms, like you know what I mean? Like your arms are just resting on
Under the table.
your leg under the table, and you're just like just lay back underneath a weighted blanket, loving life.
Oh, it's about to be kicking it for real.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, bro.
Kicking it.
You have no idea.
Yeah,
But
dude.
hey, talk to me, bro. What are we gonna get into at the start of our first episode? For our first article.
It's a good question. I think we got to just rip the band-aid off for the start. Talk
I
about
like
some
it.
layoffs.
Unfortunately
Yeah,
true.
you mentioned this thing. You mentioned at the top of the show that like we typically try to avoid layoffs. I think for the most part, it's like, there's always something happening every week. That's not to, discredit the talented developers losing their jobs or anything, but I think just whenever every now and again there's one that comes around where it's like, okay, this is pretty significant. So sure enough, EA this week, it's coming from Rebecca Valentine over at IGN. EA cuts around 300 roles, including roughly 100 at Respawn, reportedly cancels a Titanfall game. Wider EA cuts largely impacted the Experiences team. Let's get into it.
Cooked.
In addition to the roughly 100 job cuts IGN reported earlier today at Respawn Entertainment, EA has made wider cuts across its organization, impacting around 300 individuals total, including those already reported at Respawn. IGN understands that the wider cuts largely impacted EA's Experiences team, which includes groups such as EA's fan care team and various others working on customer support and marketing, though other EA departments saw reductions as well. As with other cuts at EA, those impacted will be given the opportunity to apply for their roles internally prior to being let go. As part of our continued focus on our long-term strategic priorities, we've made select changes within our organization that more effectively aligns teams and allocates resources and services of driving future growth, an EA spokesperson said in an official statement. We are treating our people with care and respect throughout the process, working to minimize impacts by helping affected employees explore new opportunities within the company when possible and providing support during the transition. The roughly 100 job cuts impacted at Respawn includes individuals in the development, publishing, and QA workers on Apex Legends, as well as smaller groups of individuals working on the Jedi team and 2 canceled incubation projects, one of which we reported back on in March, and the other of which was, per Bloomberg's reporting, a new Titanfall game. These cuts follow a number of other layoffs over the last few years at EA, including the elimination of 50 jobs at BioWare in 2023, an unknown number more at Codemasters, and in 2024, a large restructure that resulted in 670 workers being laid off company-wide, including around 24 workers at Respawn. And earlier this year, EA restructured BioWare, moving developers to other projects and laying off others. Restructuring, reallocating of members, as they say.
That is Corpo speak for get out.
Classic Corpo, dude.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. Titanfall game. It's crazy to think we were gonna get another Titanfall game, and so the fact that it's canceled, it's like, oh, could have been interesting.
If I remember correctly, they've been flip-flopping for the longest time. It was like Apex Legends started out as the QA guys, basically building a side project in their off time. And then that's why it had like a day one launch and all of a sudden took over the world. And it also reminded people of Titanfall. But there was that rumor that Apex Legends was supposed to have been the next Titanfall game.
Yeah, I think it was.
And then we had multiple opportunities where they kept saying, yeah, Titanfall's in. They wouldn't explicitly say Titanfall was in the works. They kept saying it was like, we're working on something and it could be Titanfall. They were like leaning towards it being Titanfall, but they never explicitly said it. So to now find out, it's like, oh yeah, we kind of explicitly said it, but it's canceled now. So see ya. Like, that's a shame,
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I don't know. It really sucks for sure. I think I'm just hearing all this. Like, seeing that there's like members of like the fan care team and customer support and all that marketing. It's like,
yes,
we're laying off these people that are helping your customers. You know what I'm saying? Like these dog meat games, bro. That when you get out of your studio, and these people having all these issues, and now they can't even get help, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's not fair.
The fan care team ain't helping no fan. Ain't caring for no fans anymore. You know what I'm
saying? Nobody here to help you, bro. You're on your own.
You want a new Titanfall? Sorry, dude. So it's canceled. Hate to break it to you. All right. I think it would have been interesting to see that too. I mean, hearing like the other project that got canceled, it's like it makes you wonder what they were working on. It always sucks to hear like, oh, like this project was canceled, or like you find out like when the Wonder Woman game was canceled, it's like everyone was like looking forward to seeing what that was, and then that ended up getting canceled and Monolith went under. So it's like just crazy, man. Just hearing all these cancellations and what could have been.
I think part of the cancellations of Wonder Woman had a lot to do with how the box office for the Wonder Woman movie didn't really get enough of what they expected. That could possibly be.
Yeah, I think I could have possibly had an impact.
Yeah.
Also, too, it's just like, I mean, I think with that situation too, there was just like especially upper management, was pretty bad. And I think the main
Oh yeah.
person that was like running the studio literally just ran everything into the ground across like many Warner Brothers kind of properties. So yeah, it just was all around not good. But I don't know, but seeing all the EA stuff, and then we had reports, especially earlier this year. It's like of like the CEO of EA, just taking all millions, baby, just so he's getting new
Yeah.
cars, man. And it's like it's crazy out here, dude. Um, all these execs making that money, huh? When it comes to actually giving the money to the people to make your games, dude, capitalism. So
Yeah. Pretty much. Unfortunately true.
yeah,
Brother.
I don't know, dude. This is yeah, it's pretty crazy. 300 rolls is we definitely don't hear that every week. We'll hear like 20 people laid off, 50 people. Just seeing
Yeah,
300. It's like
or like an entire company just goes belly up,
yeah,
but that doesn't happen often. It's just a shame because like the layoffs keep happening. They've been happening for about like a year and a half, 2 years now. Um, Part of it's just been the overspent and the overhiring, possibly, especially during the pandemic era. Now, I don't view this as like a correction in staff, though. It's obviously a setback for
mm.
EA and Respawn Entertainment. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's yeah. I think there's a lot of things it could be. But yeah, it certainly is a good theory. I don't know, man. Guys, restructured. We gotta remove redundancies. That word.
Yeah,
Redundancies.
specifically 300. It's like that doesn't sound like a redundancy.
I don't know how
The
redundant means
problem
more.
is like everything now is under some type of stock market manipulation, not manipulation, consequence probably. Um, yeah, it's
in this
just
in this economy or in
yeah,
this economy. I
exactly,
mean,
exactly
I
in this
think
economy.
there's also some economic stuff that probably could see those numbers going down, see that
Yeah.
recession kick in. It's like, oh, we're gonna do something. Yeah, so yeah, dude. What about the Wii, Mike? You remember the Wii? You
Oh,
remember Nintendo? Should we talk
do
about
I remember the
Nintendo
Wii?
cooking more people, dude?
I'm a big fan of Nintendo. As you know, I'm kind of a simp for them. But the Wii, I didn't actually, well, I did have a Wii, but I didn't really get into it as much as my friends did. Wii to me was something you had to play with a group of people. And
Fair.
I always went over to my buddy's place and they had brothers. So we would all play together. And then I realized I was like, what am I doing? I'm just going home and practicing to go play with them later. Like, I'd rather just go play with them. So, anyways, this one's coming from The Verge. It's about the Wii Homebrew. I hope they do a good explanation here. Yeah, they do. Of talking about what Homebrew Channel is. It's kind of interesting. Anyways, so The Verge. Wes Davis wrote this article. Wii Homebrew Channel development shuts down over stolen code. It could make it harder to load software on future hacked Wiis. Interesting. So, for those of you that do not know, a hacked Wii is one of the greatest emulation tools you can get for the Nintendo and Nintendo like umbrella of games like GameCube and all the Wii's and some N64 games. Anyways, so the GitHub repository for the Homebrew Channel HBC, a popular piece of software used on hacked Nintendo Wii's, has been archived. Its maintainers are accusing the creators of Libicich. Hail. Let me see this.
Debug,
Please.
debug C.
Hold on. There is a way. Listen. Libid GC. Okay. I
Libo
didn't.
GC.
Libo GC. Okay. Interesting. Libo GC. So the creators of Libo GC, which is a software toolkit HBC relies on of stealing both Nintendo made and open source code and presenting it as their own, according to a README posted to the repository yesterday by hacking group Fail Overflow. It's a hat tip text user oatmeal. Anyways, continuing on. HBC is a central piece of the Wii homebrew community, serving as a launcher for non Nintendo approved software without needing to rerun an exploit. Through it, you can do things like load GameCube and Wii game files, run older console emulators, and more from a USB connected hard drive or the Wii's SD card slot. HBC is also one of the cleanest ways to back up your own Wii or GameCube collection. as you can copy files from game disks using Nintendo's own hardware. In its README, Fail Overflow, the user, which owns the HPC repository, writes that although they knew early on that Lebo GC used some stolen Nintendo code, they thought much of the rest of it was the original code and decided to reluctantly continue using it. However, they say that after another developer claimed the code was actually lifted from the open source RTEMS retems without attribution, they filed an issue that Libaj GC's developers closed and replied to when verbal abuse before deleting it. HBC's developers say they now consider it impossible to legally and legitimately compile this software at this point and cannot encourage any further development. Wii Hacks, one of the most well-known or well-made guides for hacking a Wii, still seems to offer all of the file downloads needed to hack a Wii, but as Game Rant notes, that could change, particularly with the HBC developers admitting that some Nintendo code was used in the tooling it relies on. Nintendo has been known to go after emulation projects in the past, after all, and if you've already hacked a Wii, none of this will matter much. But HBC itself hasn't had any major updates for years. Just don't count on any persistent bugs going away anytime soon, if ever. So, for those of you that have been using the Wii to get Nintendo emulation on all the old consoles, but also play hacked and stolen games, hope you get that set up beforehand, and you also know that there are possible repercussions to this. This could be completely blown out of proportion, but it could just be, hey man, this could be kind of theft, and we don't want to step on Big Daddy Nintendo's
Yeah.
toes. You know,
I mean, look,
it's
man.
just really hard to say. Nintendo kind of goes rogue. You know, you
I
really
mean,
don't know what they're gonna do.
yeah, you really don't. I mean, look, I think in hindsight, especially if you want to cover your own rear end, I think
Oh
it's
yeah,
probably better to just kind of, if you are utilizing stuff that is Nintendo's property. I mean,
yep.
making software this like alone, making software like
Mhm.
this on its own is probably something Nintendo like doesn't like in the first place. And
Oh,
so,
absolutely not.
and so it's like
Absolutely not.
already is this bad, but then like you're stealing code on top of that. It's like you really give them a
Yes,
case that they can really come after you.
it's
Um,
like you wild. Yeah,
so it's
don't
like
mess with Big Daddy Nintendo.
yeah, so it's like we should probably just shut this down before like any of us go to jail or have to pay
Yeah,
millions.
100%.
So it's probably smart for sure. But in
Oh
the
yeah,
meantime, trying to hack your Wii, anybody, you might want to jump on this quick because who knows?
yeah.
I don't think you're gonna be able to after a little while. So
Yeah, it seems like the only place where you can go is Wii Hacks. I've soft modded my Xbox. I have everything you could possibly have on that. Took for freaking ever, but it was a nice, fun project. I also have a whole bunch of retro gaming stuff that I can play on my console in the living room. And honestly, I did it more as a challenge to see if I could because I like learning new things. It's really just I do feel like there's some type of nostalgia with playing the old classic games. Or if you're in a younger generation, you never got the opportunity to play like some of the old Nintendo games or some of the even like Sega games. It's a really good idea to go back and play. You know, like I don't know.
yeah,
For me, it'd be go back and play Sonic. Figure out why Sonic is the biggest superstar, one of the biggest superstars from the old school era. Or I don't know, man. When was the last time like the other big IPs that I think of that I would love to go back and play is Mega Man, and it just makes me remember I don't I can't think of the last time I played or saw a modern Mega Man game. It's like we need that back,
yeah,
dude. Those games are
yeah.
fun.
It's true, dude. Very fun. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know, like getting the opportunity to go back and play all these games, I think is something pretty sweet. Albeit probably not the most legal avenue, but hey,
Hmm.
what do I know? You know what I'm saying? I don't be downloading the homebrew stuff, so I don't know. But yeah, I mean, just seeing this and seeing it's probably smart of them to get ahead of this and just be like, all right, well, um, yeah, and also like if you have this, there's a bug you run into, sorry, it's not gonna get fixed. So
Yeah, that's
just
basically
gotta
what
live
that.
with it forever. The imperfections, you gotta live with that.
Honestly, yeah. And the homebrew channel is pretty important to Wii's because Like there are a handful of consoles that are must-have if you're big into modding and playing retro stuff. First one is the big old Xboxes, the original ones. The second one is the Wii. Like
Yeah,
probably the Wii is higher than the Xbox,
yeah, it's
just
true.
because it's newer, it's more compatible. Yeah,
Yeah, honestly, the original PS3, the Fat Boy PS3s, if those didn't
hmm
actually, if they weren't architected like dog meat, those would take the crown as like the ultimate PlayStation console to
Oh
have.
yeah, dude.
And especially for
Yeah.
modding, you could probably go crazy on it, but unfortunately, it
Yeah, I
just
think
was
you're
not
right.
engineered well, so it
Not even the slightest.
just doesn't last. Yeah, dude, it's crazy,
Oh,
man.
buddy.
It's crazy these old consoles, and yeah, no, I would say too. Yeah, Wii's pretty nice. Play a lot. We can do a lot, especially in modding. So pretty up
Yeah,
there, bro. Up there.
definitely check it out if you haven't already. You can get Wii's for pretty cheap online.
Oh yeah, yeah, very cheap. Shall we talk about some new devices? A new device?
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
We're talking about the GPD Win Max 2. This is a review that was posted by Sean Hollister on The Verge. A surprisingly competent tiny laptop that doubles as a gaming handheld. It's like one of those thick Swiss Army knives. Every tool you need, but half are awkward to awkward to hold. I like that. I mean, just seeing the image, it's pretty nuts.
It looks so it
Like
looks so
so,
goofy.
yeah. So you have a keyboard. So for those of audio, you have a laptop essentially. The bottom half, the keyboard is at the is scooted towards the front of the bottom of the bezel. You have two
Yeah, it's as
joysticks.
close as it can be at
Yeah,
the bottom.
exactly. And then you have, so I mean, there's nowhere to rest your wrist. I mean, you're kind of just typing off the edge. And then above the keyboard is two thumbsticks, some buttons, your standard kind of controller buttons, a D-pad on the left
Oh
side.
yeah.
And so it's all just there. And so the idea is like you're gonna hold it like a controller. Your keyboard is the bottom half, and then you got your joysticks and stuff where your thumbs go. It looks like there's a camera in the middle of the hinge between the top and the bottom.
Is that a camera?
I don't know. It kind of looks
I
like
mean,
one.
it's
I don't
it's
know.
kind
Might
of
not
it's
be.
kind of like a blurry image. It could be really difficult to see. Let me zoom in.
I don't
This
know.
guy's look like he's in a it's obviously, is this Sean Hollister? Yeah, Sean Hollister at The Verge.
Oh yeah.
Now, honestly, that does look like a camera and the little touchpad in between.
Yeah, it might be a trackpad. You might be right.
Yeah,
Trackpad.
trackpad. I always mix
Trackpad.
that up. Yeah,
Between
it looks kind of clean, dude, and
yeah.
seems to me that they have a switch up at the top that says you can go to controller and you can go to keyboard.
Ah, I see.
Interesting. Yeah. All right.
Very
How about
interesting.
you get
What's up
into
with
it and
this?
tell us what's
This is
going on?
this is a review, right? It's a very long article. This is
Mhm.
a very wordy review. So we may skip around, but let's start at the top. Since Neuromancer took the sci-fi world by storm in 1984, computing nerds have pinned for a cyber deck, the ultimate and personal portable PCs for surfing and hacking the world. Usually there's DIY affairs, but the 10-inch GPD Win Max 2 is the closest I've seen to a off-the-shelf cyber deck worth buying. It's far from the best laptop or gaming handheld. It's an ergonomic compromise in 5 ways, and the webcam is trash, he says. So it is a webcam. It's a piece of
Holy
meat.
crap! It is so small, so
Piece of
small.
meat.
That's insane.
It doubles as a gaming handheld with joysticks and buttons smuggled away in hidden compartments. It optionally triples as a desktop gaming PC with a rare Oculink port that lets you plug in the beefy eGPU. It has more full-size ports than most small laptops can dream of, twin SSD slots, and a minimum 32 GB RAM. That's kind of 32 gigabytes of RAM. That's kind of nuts. Okay.
That is a lot. Yeah.
Perhaps most importantly, it has the most competent keyboard I've used on a computer this small, with near zero learning curve. I'm writing every word you're reading right now in this article at my normal speed on the Win Max 2. I've spent many full days working from this 10-inch notebook, and it's tackling everything. Sean said, I even edited a recent Today I'm Toying With video on this tiny PC. GPD's been building tiny laptops for around a decade. This one's tantalizingly close to something I might actually pay for, if I can only convince the company to change a few things. So the Verge score, he gives a score right off the bat. The Verge score is a 7, assuming out of 10. I'm assuming the scale is 7 out of 10. So it's kind of, a little bit above average, I would say.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the Win Max 2 clocks in at $1,005 according to this article. Quick rack right there. Kind of gives the good and the bad. So the good, he said, the good stuff, excellent keyboard for the size, a stellar array of ports, eGPU ready, both OcuLink and USB 4. Doubles as a gaming handheld. The bad, he said it's awkward to hold handheld. The webcam is atrocious. Tiny touchpad makes you stretch. Yeah, assuming it's the one in the middle.
Yeah, it's pretty far, yeah.
Battery doesn't last a day. Oof.
Oh.
I mean, most of the batteries on handhelds are pretty trash, so can't really.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of them at least last a day. I feel like that's the bare minimum.
Yeah, I don't know, especially on laptops. On paper, the GPD Win Max 2 seems like it should be on the upper echelon of handhelds. You get your choice in AMD's HX370 Strix Point and its Ryzen 7 8840U chip, up to 64 gigs of memory to 4 terabytes of storage, a high-res 2560 by 1600 IPS screen covered in Corning's Gorilla Glass 5 durability, and a larger than average 67 watt-hour battery to power the whole thing. But using it on the couch, in bed, and on flights to and from Japan, gaming was more awkward than John expected. He said, for once, I'm not talking about how terrible Windows can be. With a large 10.1-inch touchscreen and a full keyboard, it's a rare handheld where Microsoft's OS is easy to manage, easy to tap touchscreen buttons, and drag Windows around. It does still struggle with sleep. Nor am I talking about the 2.2-pound weight. While my arms do get tired holding it, like a Nintendo Switch, I can usually just open the laptop's hinge, prop it up on my chest, or plop it on my lap for a bit. Even the gamepad controls are decent, as awkward as they may look. You get 2 analog sticks that feel nigh identical to Nintendo Switch. Save the drift-resistant Hall effect sensors underneath. Oh, I get some Hall effect sensors in these joysticks. Okay. Appreciate
Yeah.
that.
That seems to be more and more the norm now. It's just if they have the opportunity to add Hall effect,
Yeah.
it's now a marketing term. So let's do it.
Yeah, the PSP style translucent D-pad is responsive, as are the tiny ABXY face buttons. You get clicky micro switches under each bumper. Only the triggers feel a little weak. No, the main problem is that to hold this game pad controls, you have to grip the laptop's rigid aluminum and resin chassis, which has no real dampening to isolate my hands from the handheld's grumbling guts.
Ugh.
I could feel every fan vibration traveling through my fingers up into my wrists. It feels indescribably weird and bad. I've asked GPD, but the company suggested fan adjustments haven't fixed it. A replacement unit had the same issue. That's kind of unfortunate. This is not a comfortable handheld experience, what it sounds like.
No, it sounds miserable.
Second pain point is the screen. 2560 by 1600 is far too many pixels for AMD's portable chip to push in every moderately intensive game. And because GPD chose a fixed 60Hz screen, nothing feels as smooth as 90 or 120 VRR handhelds like the Steam Deck OLED, Asus ROG Ally X, or ANEO 3. It's a good display for productivity for watching movies, particularly considering the Win Max 2's decent DTS-X digital sound enhancements. But I will no longer buy a gaming handheld with a 60Hz refresh rate screen. Yeah, it's a bummer. It's not a high refresh rate.
Yeah.
Real
I
bummer,
think it's too
dude.
low.
Yeah.
I mean, it's $1,000, so
yeah,
maybe that's good.
I don't know. Yeah, Sean went on to give some kind of 720p kind of power benchmarks. It's a long chart, very intensive. He said at least the 1100 AMD 8840U and 32 gigabyte model I tested, it's not always faster in games than the 800 Asus ROG Ally X. While it does seem to have a performance advantage at 15 watts, battery life is still meh, and it's a smaller battery within. With the Ally X, I got over 8 hours of Magic Poker game Balatro, my best case scenario test for this handheld since it's not intensive. The Win Max 2 managed only 5 hours and 22 minutes on a charge. I also just saw 2 hours of Armored Core 6 on par with the Steam Deck, but the Ally X gets nearly 3 hours. Plus, you could drain the Win Max 2's battery in an hour and a half with more intensive games if you try. Unlike other handhelds, though, you can play flat on a tray table, like I did on my flights. The joysticks and buttons are still accessible, plus a whole keyboard. Over the past month, I've nearly beaten Lorelei and Laser Eyes playing exclusively on the Win Max 2, transitioning between laptop and handheld, cordless and corded modes. As before, you can genuinely plug an RTX 5090 external graphics card dock into this thing. Just so the Oculink products, unlike USB-C ones, aren't made to be hot swapped. They have to be fully powered down before you yank the cable or you risk damage. I didn't even know that. Oh gosh.
I didn't know that either.
That's a dead
That's
Oculink don't mess around, dude. You gotta be careful. Since the Win Max 2 is a gaming machine, as a laptop, it's largely the same story, uniquely intriguing until you bump into ugly shortcomings. Don't even think about buying a Win Max 2 for your Zoom or Teams calls, as it has one of the worst webcams I've ever had the displeasure of using. And I say that having suffered years with the nose hair webcam on a Dell XPS 15. Apparently they wrote an entire story about that. Win Max 2's hinge cam is angled so low that typing appears to your colleagues as giant spider fingers invading the... Oh, God, he shows a picture of it. It looks so bad.
It looks horrific.
It's like, yeah, I don't know why. I see why they fit it there because it's so small you can't fit it at the top of the bezel or the top of the screen. But it's like, oh man, it's bad.
But it's like that's just not a good idea. It looks so bad. If it's that bad, I think I just feel like don't put it in at all. Just leave it alone.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, so he goes on to talk about the webcams more, but then he says, some good news, the Win Max 2 has plenty of ports for practically any peripheral you care to add. Ports to spare, while you won't find the Ethernet or RS-2032 serial DB9 jacks that sysadmins might want to in a true cyberdeck, GPD sells a different modular laptop for that. This one still has ports to spare. So it has two 40 gigabytes per second USB 4 ports with docking, charging, monitoring, GPU capabilities, two 10 gigabit USB-A ports for traditional USB gadgets, a full-size UHS 2 SD card slot and UHS 1 micro SD card slot, full-size HDMI 2.1 port for built-in video output, 3.5 millimeter headphone or headset jack, and 63 gigabit Oculink port for compatible eGPUs. So they had an HDMI 2.1, but you can't take advantage of like the high refresh rates. It's kind of funny. I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming you can. But yeah, it's kind of crazy.
No, well 2.1. You can probably get relatively high up in the refresh rates, but they don't really have the GPU to handle it. I think that's the primary issue. Seems like they have the power, but just not the GPU.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he says, should GPD have sacrificed some of these ports to make the stout Win Max 2 thinner? I don't think so, though you should know it won't fit neatly into the mini laptop sleeves. But GPD could ditch the modular SSD and modem bays for extra battery capacity. I'm only getting 5 to 6 hours of work done on a charge, not enough for a full workday, but a larger battery feels possible with some small design tweaks, or some design tweaks. Battery webcam, better mousing, vibration dampening, and a variable refresh rate screen, then GPD might have a tiny computer that Sean could wholeheartedly recommend. Seems like there's some shortcomings with this, but I have to say, I like the idea. I like the execution of trying something different. I can appreciate that. I don't know. It seems like from a typing experience, he said it actually wasn't that bad, which is kind of surprising.
That is pretty surprising. You wouldn't think it would be that way. I mean, is this something you would purchase? I mean, they're directly comparing it, or Sean Hollister is directly comparing it against the Asus ROG Ally, the Legion Go S, and the Steam Deck OLED. It's $1,000. So if you're on a budget, I think this is for somebody. Or if you're maybe new to mobile gaming or handheld gaming, yeah, possibly that could be an option.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on your needs, right? I think if you want like a small laptop that you can game on, this could be kind of a neat kind of, in between. It seems like it's not, it's just like a jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing. It's just kind of like, it's got everything, but it's all just kind of like, so I don't know. I mean, if you're just trying to game, I don't know, like a Steam Deck with Steam OS or something like that is pretty good. So, I mean, or, Asus ROG Ally or something like that too. Like, there's other options for a handheld gaming that's far more comfortable. It sounds like than this. So, if you're looking for something just to game on, probably wouldn't recommend this. But if
No.
if you want like a nice little kind of laptop that also doubles as a gaming thing, and you feel like you'll probably primarily be doing kind of productivity stuff on it, and you just want something small to take along, this could be an option. I mean, it's one of those
I
things
think you might be right.
like if you just want something to do some writing on or something like that, and then occasionally just pick it up and use it as a controller, play some games every now and then. Probably not a bad option. 60 hertz refresh rate though, so you got to keep that in mind. So it's not going to be a Steam Deck that's going to give you all the frames.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it'll be decent if it's in your price range and you're out of options. Possibly that's the way to go. But this is not the most flattering review.
It certainly isn't.
But it's funny how like the the title of the original article um, that I'm looking at from 7 a.m. You're looking at the one from 11. The one I have from The Verge is this surprisingly competent laptop doubles as a gaming handheld. And then yours is like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same, but it adds a little bit more to it. A surprisingly competent tiny laptop that doubles as a gaming handheld. It's like, okay. I guess it's close.
Yeah, it's funny. Very funny. Yeah, dude. I don't know. It could be an option for some people. I don't know. It seems like a little kind of. I mean, if anything, it's like kind of an item of novelty. You could just have it. It's like an extra little
Yeah.
gaming device. But yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
7 out of 10. What he said.
10 out of 10.
Should we round out with some
uh,
positive EA stuff, Mike?
yeah. Yeah. Let's do that. So, one of the things I'm sort of excited about is this Cameron Gotch. I just messed up his name. I don't want to say the other one that it could possibly be. But he over here at GameSpot, sorry, I almost said what's the other game one?
GameStop.
Like gaming for GameStop. That's the one I was also thinking of. GameSpot. They came out here. He wrote an article said EA says its updated anti-cheat bans cheaters within 99% accuracy. And I'm really excited about this because we briefly mentioned how there's anti-cheat being used in small not EA, small indie level games where they're just banning people instantaneously. Or if you're on a Smurf account, they can use AI to profile you, figure out who you are, and then ban you. It's a very interesting concept. And I think we will come out to a world where there's no more cheaters in video games, which is going to be so cool. All right, let's get into it. So EA Javelin, the newest revealed name of the kernel level PC anti-cheat currently used in 14 EA games, including Battlefield 2042 and Madden 25, has prevented 33 million cheat attempts since its launch in 2022. With recent updates cutting the number of cheater players encounter in Battlefield 2042 in half, according to EA. Which is honestly a big deal. If you ever play Battlefield 2042, there were cheaters freaking everywhere. It was terrible.
Awful.
hmm So let's continue on. While EA's push into new anti-cheat software for its game began in 2022 with the launch of FIFA 2023, there's been a little news about its impact since then. Now EA is sharing more details on its efforts and has even given its software a new name, EA Javelin. One it said was chosen to communicate defense, strength, and agility in the face of cheaters. So one of the things to mention, this is kind of off script of the article, is a PC level or a kernel level PC anti-cheat. That basically means it's a program running in the background, doesn't it, Kyle? Where it's like it's kind of always running, always on, always scanning for
Yeah,
cheats.
it's deep in there, you know. It's a very.
Yeah.
I mean, it's first one that comes to mind is Valorant's Vanguard. That's
Yeah.
kernel level, so it's always running on your PC. The second you turn it off or you try to turn it off, it's like just saying if you want to turn this back on, you're gonna have to restart your PC if you want to play Valorant. It's like
Yeah,
that,
you're in a
kind of that deep.
kind of yeah, kind of like in a world of hurt a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's like you turn this off, you have to restart if you want to play Valorant, kind of thing. So it's in there,
Yeah.
dude. It's in there. So yeah, so, yeah, it's no joke.
All right. So thanks for a little bit of the background there. Anyways, yeah, okay, third paragraph. In a newly published progress report, EA head of game security Elias Murphy said EA Javelin Anticheat has blocked 33 million cheating attempts across 2.2 billion PC gaming sessions since its 2022 launch. She said the software, is it Ellis then?
Yeah,
Elias
Ellis
is,
or Elise. Yeah.
yeah, I think Elise. Yeah, my bad. Miss Murphy or Mrs. Murphy. She said the software currently sports a 99% accuracy rate when it comes to identifying and banning cheaters, and that on the off chance it bans someone unjustly, EA has overturned those bans. So Murphy said that we take player disputes very seriously as we never want to impact a legitimate player's ability to play one of our games. So new features introduced to EA Javelin last fall in Battlefield 2042 look to have had a big impact as well. Murphy said the game's match infection rate, interesting little name by the way, how often a regular player would encounter a cheater was cut in half following the new updates to EA Javelin. Murphy used the report to try and ease some concern players may have over EA Javelin's kernel level approach, one that is also used by Riot Games' Vanguard and Activision's Ricochet anti cheat systems. So here she goes to kind of explain a little bit of the kernel level that we mentioned earlier. Murphy says, while having a kernel driver is essential to protecting their play in our games, we also understand the concerns that a kernel driver can raise. EA Javelin anti-cheat only runs when one of the protected games is running, and it will uninstall itself if you have uninstalled all of your EA games that had EA Javelin anti-cheat protection. We have partnered closely with internal teams and third party assessors to validate that EA Javelin anti cheat will only inspect what it needs to for anti cheat purposes. Everything else is off limits. Though EA has been relatively quiet on its anti cheat efforts since 2022, Murphy said it will be sharing updates and deep dives on the subject more often going forward in the name of transparency. I actually really like that idea. I'd like to know more about how these kernel level anti cheats work, what they're actually digging into. Like we
Yeah.
gotta stay on top of this. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So
Well, not that I don't trust EA, but I would love
I don't
to.
trust them.
I would love to see at a certain point, because they make all these claims that we don't touch anything else. It's like that's cool and all, but
Yeah.
like, is there a way like somebody like a YouTuber or something could actually test this and confirm like, do they actually not touch any other files or anything? Like, if there's actual evidence of that, then I'd believe it.
Yes.
But it's hard for me to believe
Exactly.
at face value of like, oh, y'all actually don't touch anything. Okay, like,
Are you
so
sure?
you say everything's off limits. I don't know, bro. You have pretty deep
Yeah.
access
Yeah. It's
levels.
like trust me, bro. It's fine.
It's literally
Fine,
what,
bro.
yeah, that's how it comes off. It's like, trust me, bro. We don't touch anything, man. Like, so yeah, I don't know. I'd have to believe it to see it on that front. I think to see if it actually doesn't touch anything. But I mean, it's at least good to see that like they're going that deep into your system and like doing all that. It's actually cutting down cheating significantly.
Yes, it
So
is.
it's
Which is
really
even
that's
better.
good to see. It's like if you're going through all that effort, it's like all right, it's actually working for the most part. Um, I know I think even like I know with like Valorant and stuff like that too. Even though it is a kernel level driver, I know they're still cheating and stuff in that, and they're constantly improving their system, trying to weed out all that. So it's never ending seemingly of finding new exploits and patching them and whatnot. So,
Oh yeah.
but I mean, it's good to see that hey, players are experiencing less cheaters. This is a step in the right direction to try and remove. Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever get 100%, unfortunately, but hey, maybe one day. I don't know. I'm not an engineer,
Yeah.
so I'm not saying it's impossible. But,
I I think it's gonna be okay because of what I was saying earlier about the level of AI that they're starting to implement into anti-cheat and profiling people if they're on Smurf accounts. And just there's something about using if you use aim lock and you're pixel perfect to the like the 3D rendering of a pixel, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So it's like a specific point in a 3D model where it's so precise now, like the way games are designed, it's way more realistic where everything is. And if you're so specific on where your guy is aiming, like especially in shooters, it should be clear and obvious as day. It's like they can't be that accurate every single time,
yeah,
you know? That should be easily identifiable as cheats and they should be banned almost instantaneously. Or if they're legit, put them in a lab and study them. because that is just crazy level robotic movement. Yeah,
Where was the test tube you were made? You know what I'm saying?
that's what I'm saying.
Take me to
That's what
it.
I'm saying.
That's funny.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, it seems from a very high level, it seems intuitive as to the little things you can look out for in someone's play to determine
Oh yeah.
if they actually are cheating. So, yeah, I mean, I agree. Well, it's but I do love the more transparency and stuff going forward about like the data and kind of what's going on. I can't wait to see those reports as they come out to see like are they actually improving it? Is it actually catching more?
Yes.
Um, it's kind of funny they use it in Madden NFL 25. I just think it's so funny. It's in a football game. I mean,
Well, don't get me started on EA Madden games because I feel like they've been cheating for forever, which is how they do things. It's crazy to me.
yeah.
Very, very annoying. They'll
That's
like just sabotage your team for no particular reason because you're on a winning streak.
yeah,
I don't get
it's
it.
crazy. People out here are really just ruining lives.
They really
But
are.
but yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think also too when I think of anti-cheat, it's like my brain immediately goes to shooter, but it's like no, the sports games definitely have cheating in it too. So I just find it funny. It's like you're playing like 2K or something, and someone's like just
Yep.
balling all over you, and it's actually cheats. It's funny to think about. I don't know. Dude. It's crazy, man. Shout out to EA though and Javelin. Really out here acting like a vanguard. I forgot about Ricochet, Activision Ricochet.
I'll never forget about that, dude. Like ever.
Ricochet
I
anti-cheat.
I just remember the term ricochet because I had played video games for freaking
Yeah.
ever, and in Halo 3, you used to ricochet off of like the walls to hit people. so so to me it was like this is so cool. It's ricochet, and then I see ricochet cheat engine. And there's a couple old games that also had ricochet. It's like a lot of them.
And it's a clever
Because
name
Ricochet's been
too.
around for a while. Like just out of curiosity, I'm gonna look it up. Ricochet cheat
Ricochet.
engine. Let's see. Does it have it dated?
Yeah, searching.
I thought it was around. Of course, you know when you Google something, it's just like, oh yeah, this is kind of cool, and then it doesn't really tell you when it came out.
Here's the AI overview. That's what it all is now.
Exactly, that AI overview, and it's just a whole bunch of yapology, and I'm like, bro, I just
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
know. Uh,
It's so funny bug fixing. Sometimes it does help. But like if I'm at work
release.
and I'm trying to look something up, it's like, all right,
Oh,
you
it does help
just give
sometimes.
me
Yeah.
like 5 paragraphs of I don't know.
Ricochet Anticheat came out in 2024. That's what it's saying, but I thought it was way older than that. I must be thinking of something
And
else.
didn't the article say what it was? The article not say what it was.
I don't think it did.
Activision's Ricochet anti-cheat. Yeah, I don't think it did. Never mind.
No, I don't think it did either.
Unfortunate.
Never. Whatever, man.
Dude.
Mm-hmm.
EA out here saving lives, throwing some people's lives in the garbage and being like, you find a new job. It's crazy, man. I don't get it.
It's out of control, bro. Out of control.
Polarizing company that is Electronic Arts.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, you published Split Fiction. Guess can't be too too mad at
Can't
you.
be
I
that
guess.
upset, right? Yeah. Oh no.
That game's on my list, man. Gotta get to that. Me and the homie, we gotta get to it.
Yeah. You really need to because it's one of the best games I've played in a while. I honestly have to beat it first before I should start calling out how good a game is.
Hey, man.
Like
Saying I
all
started
my
Expedition
normie
33.
friends who started playing it were so excited too. So there's
Yeah.
got to be some serious hype.
Yeah. Hey, man. Trying to check it out. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, sir. Well, hey, that's all we really had to cover for this week. I think we can kind of let the people go. You and I, it's getting kind of late for us. We usually don't record this late. It's my fault. I'm sorry. But if you don't have anything to add, Kyle, I'll go ahead and close out.
I think I'm good, dude. I think I'm
Alrighty,
good.
buddy. All right, buddy. All right, so for those of you that are still sticking around, we absolutely appreciate the love and support and all the listening that you've been doing for us. Follow up if you want to check out any of the articles that we covered, you want to read them yourselves if you've been listening and stuff, and you just want to give support to the actual locations of these articles. Links are in the description below, along with timestamps where you can see everything that we've covered. and social media accounts are there as well. And that's kind of all I have to offer right now. And I think that's it. So this has been episode 15, the N2 podcast. We'll see you guys next week. I'm Michael Anti. That's Kyle Heath. And just keep on gaming, guys. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.